This episode of The Modern Rogue brought to you by Squarespace.
Go to squarespace.com/rogue and use promo code ROGUE for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase.
Heck yeah. We are back again at EDG Coffee, right outside of Austin, Texas. This time we've got Christy, and we're about to get some, this looks very fancy, very advanced.
It's not that you're a sommelier, because that's not a thing with coffee, but you're a coffee sommelier. I mean, you are, but you're not. But you are.
But I am.
But you are.
Yeah, but it's considered a quality coffee grader.
Okay, quality coffee grader. So you went to like a course? You had to like fight your sensei or something at the end?
There was a sensei, and I had the best one in Texas.
Ended in a rap battle. It was amazing.
So it was a week-long course, and it was very intensive because you've got to cup and sample or taste 200 different coffees like in 5 days.
So you're going to teach us about extractions and pairing and how to get the notes and how to really enjoy the coffee?
Exactly.
Where do we get started?
Okay, well, first we have our light roast that we're going to start off with because I think it's better to start with the lightest and the most caffeine.
Wait, the lightest is the most caffeine?
That's something
That sounds crazy talk.
Right, it seems like lightest would be the frilliest and it's mostly water.
Yeah.
Not the case?
Not the case. So people think that dark espresso is dark and there's a lot of caffeine, but really it's just a concentrated shot of espresso. It's really, truly the roast level.
I just want to say, like, that is the sweetest, nicest way I've been dissed in my entire life.
So think of it this way, as you roast out the caffeine.
Which is why it gets darker. Today I learned. Do.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have here is I wanted you to see the beans and the ground because we're gonna have a sensory analysis where we look at the beans and we smell the beans and the coffee before we taste it. So you're gonna wanna understand there's aroma and fragrance. Aroma is when you smell it dry, and then fragrance is when you're smelling it wet. So what we're gonna do is experience this specialty grade coffee with our olfactory, which is what they call reverse nasal, where you take in, sip it, and you breathe into your mouth through your nose so that oxygen really explodes in your mouth. And then we're gonna experience how it sits on the tongue and what you taste and the tactileness of it. So when you look at the beans, you see they're light, and then I want you to smell it. You can stick your nose in there, because the more you stick your nose in there and get more oxygen, the more you're gonna get out of the coffee.
Rich.
Yeah.
So does this smell only come out once it's been roasted, or is this something like even at the bean level you're able to experience?
At the roasted level, you'll smell it. It's a little bit different, but after you grind it, the smells really come out because of you're grinding up that compound and it's opening it up.
I recently learned from you that the grind actually does make a difference, like how much your coffee is ground.
Absolutely. So when you're going through the phase of extraction, you want to make sure you have a really good grinder, and it's called a burr grinder. It's a conifer where it really grinds that bean up nice and evenly, as opposed to a blade. A blade will shred the bean, and that could cause more bitterness than you want.
How do we get the fragrance now?
Okay, so the fragrance, so what I do is when I grind this, now we're grinding this for a pour over extraction. There's many different extractions. There's French press, drip, pour over, there's even the K-cups. But this particular grind is perfect for a pour over. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and pour.
This looks like alchemy.
It's been setting for a couple minutes, so it should be at the right temp. The temperature of the water is very important, by the way.
What is the perfect temp? I guess perfect is however you define it.
So on a light roast, you want it a little higher, about 203, 204 temp. And as you go through that darker roast, you're gonna wanna lessen that temperature.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, now first, wait, before we have what I call the special spoons. Now mine's the gold spoon. You guys get these?
Second place spoons, second place bros.
Oh, yay!
Okay, so first, wait, You gotta set it down.
Oh, okay.
To do this appropriately,
Yeah,
if you want to do it the right way. So you're gonna want to put your hands, like they usually put their hands behind their back.
Oh.
You don't have to do that, you can put it down here. But because you don't want to capture the smells of soap or perfume or anything like that, and you're gonna
Burnt
want
flesh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I'm burned. I'm burned.
It's beautiful. So you're gonna want to smell, and you're smelling the fragrance. And you can really stick your nose in there. You want to get a lot of oxygen. Now, what we do is you take a little bit of the liquid in your spoon, and now the more upright you are, the better, because you want to get a lot more oxygen. And you're going to do this really obnoxious slurp.
I'm already all in on this.
Yeah, okay, so here we go.
Does the speed matter or the bubbliness of the slurp?
The more oxygen you can get in.
See, like what he's doing is annoying the other passengers on the train. Do you want to do it that way?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do it that way. It sounds obnoxious, you're right. But any way that you get oxygen is good. It can be loud, it can be slurpy, it can be soft, it can be quiet. However, and you might choke, however you get it.
Should not inhale.
Yeah.
All right, and then what are the notes we're looking for as we do this?
With our particular single origin bean, it's not flavored. Just make sure you know it's not a flavored coffee. It has notes that come from many different things. It's the soil, so we have a great volcanic ash soil. You can stick a machete down in there 2 feet deep and it comes out thick and black and just looks delicious because I'm thinking coffee. But that's important. The climate, the altitude, we're about 5,100 feet up, so the climate helps. We have a lot of shade value, a lot of banana trees, monkeys, all those things come into play. At the farm level, with all those things in consideration, it will take you to a journey to the cup. I personally get the notes of lemon, citrus, apple crisp, and then kind of a honey maple. Now, after you try it, I'm gonna put a little bit on your spoon and you're gonna sample, and then you're gonna try it and tell me if it really explodes in your mouth.
Okay, right on. So try it clean.
Try it clean. Okay, hand me your spoon and just hold your spoon there.
Okay.
Do that. We're gonna, I don't know. Sorry, my hands are clean. And then
I didn't expect a coffee lesson to go into volcanoes and machetes, but I'm super excited now.
Well, it's important to remember there's a temptation to believe like there's no way all of that makes it into the bean, but this grew right out of that ground. And like we learned with the whiskey episodes, it's like you're physically traveling to all these places.
Okay, now take that in, chew it, get it all in your mouth.
Don't add the coffee on
No,
there.
don't add the coffee.
Gotta just experience
Just
these.
experience that. And after you've done that, you can even pick up the cup of coffee and drink it normal.
I'm really getting the crisp apple taste from that. Yeah.
A friend of mine described it as signposts, these little flavor profiles that register in your mind. Even if you end up using the wrong words for them, they still, all that matters is that they are places you can hold on to as you go on your journey and recognize different flavors.
That's right. They have a flavor wheel specifically for specialty coffee where it teaches you the different nuances of all the flavors. There's 3 different distinctions. There's an enzymatic, which is your floral and your citrus. And then there's the sugar browning, which is going to be like your brown sugar and butters and maple syrups. And then there's the distillery notes that you may pick up that might be like tobacco or clove, leather, that kind of thing. So what you're probably experience more in our light roast is the enzymatic or the fruity citrus notes. And it should linger a nice soft sweetness at the end.
You know, I've never thought of coffee as something that was crisp or brisk, but I taste it. It's definitely there.
I don't think I've ever encountered a coffee culture about taking your time to really experience all the deep notes in coffee. Coffee has always meant the thing you grab on your way to work to pep you up for the rest of today. Where do you go to experience this deeper coffee culture?
Well, that's what the specialty coffee world is about. There's what they call 3 waves of coffee. The first wave was, where Cowboy coffee, where they went to the fireside and they made their coffee with commodity grade coffee. Second wave is like diner coffee. So they started bringing in different commodity rated type coffee and serving it at the diner. Third wave is where they brought in more specialty grade, which is a cleaner bean. So at the farm level, they make sure that the green bean is clean and has no defects. That's what makes specialty grade coffee. So as we get it to the roaster, they've got to follow those same type of steps, meaning make sure they find the mystery of the bean and make sure the temperature's perfect to make sure that coffee roasts and brings out the most flavor or the most of the notes in it. Then it goes to the barista, which that's just as important, because if you have a barista that doesn't know how to pull a shot, then you could ruin, and it's not specialty coffee anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
It's all the way to the extraction.
So what flavor profile are we exploring next?
So we are moving on to our medium roast, and I'm gonna let you guys tell me how to do this.
So medium roast, first of all, less caffeine, because the darker it is, the more of the caffeine has been roasted away, right? Okay, good.
Right answer.
Second of all, you get the golden spoon. We should do the aromatics, which means get our noses in there, right? What are you detecting?
Toastier.
Toastier?
Significantly toastier for me. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense if it's roasted more.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it smells. I'm such an idiot.
I'm going to compare both. Oh, this one will definitely get your attention much more quickly than this one will, which is strange since this one is stronger, but this one smells stronger to me.
Right. So I think we're moving into heavier notes, if I'm going to guess. Is that correct?
So you said the word stronger. Stronger doesn't necessarily mean higher caffeine. Sometimes the language is there's just more caffeine, because people think that a stronger coffee is a darker, richer, bolder coffee. So I would call that just a higher caffeine coffee and a lesser caffeine, but a little bit more boldness.
Yeah. Okay, so boldness. This one is much bolder, because just from smelling it and being uneducated, I would think that this one would have more caffeine.
But these are still the same bean, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to get a lot more complexities. The compounds in the bean, when you roast it a little bit longer, are really going to come through even more as you roast. So what did you smell?
Coffee. Man, I'm not good at this. You're
yeah,
way
yeah.
better. I'm not.
It's a much earthier smell.
Think foods.
I mean, I almost want to say chocolate cake, but that can't be right, unless...
I don't know. I think you might be right.
I'm going to give you a hint.
Is that a chocolate-covered cherry?
That is a dark chocolate-covered almond.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so nutty and chocolatey, and deep and earthy. Yeah. I definitely read all that. I'm great.
Also, cherries aren't shaped like this, just by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
So normally with our medium roast, the notes that I get a little bit more of a rich butter, milk to dark chocolate, but there's definitely some nuttiness in there. I'll go ahead and pour it. And
Let's try it.
Tell me what to do next.
Oh, no. Hands behind your back.
Oh, doggone it. We bury our feet. Yep.
Good call.
Okay.
So the only thing different that I detect, and hopefully I'm not stupidly wrong about this, it smells a little bit sweeter or caramelized. Am I on the right track?
Good answer.
Hey, look at that.
As we roast a little bit longer, there's a little bit of hint of caramelization that will come during the roast. A little bit more of a toffiness comes out, which that's why I brought this little descriptor here. It's a buttery toffee nut. So what do we do next? We take our spoons.
Yep.
Now really slurp, like make a lot of noise. You gotta bring in more oxygen. I'm not hearing you.
I'm gonna drown.
And remember, keep your body upright.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
So I'm ashamed to admit that it's just now hitting me what you've been doing is not pairing for complementary status, but instead these are all anchors for us to break apart the individual aspects of each of these roasts.
Can we hire you? Because you should explain that. That's awesome. Yeah.
No, but it's wonderful because here we are 2/3 of the way through the journey and I'm just now like, oh, now I see what's going on.
What people do is they study that profile, that flavor profile wheel, and they understand all the different fruits and florals and herbs and chocolates and caramels. And then when they taste the coffee, they think, oh, wow, this does taste like, and they remember, they recall. So it's kind of a sensory analysis to study foods and compare them to the notes of your coffee.
Oh, it's brilliant. May I taste the individual components here?
Yes. So first I want you to try this by itself and then taste.
Okay, and this is again...
This is a buttery toffee. It's a nut. Mm-hmm. It's a pecan. Okay. Now you can pick it up like a normal cup if you want.
But we're looking for the same animal in this wild zoo.
Exactly. Now remember, breathe into your mouth. And what should really come alive is that buttery little hint of toffee nuttiness.
I definitely get the nuttiness.
Yeah. Now, I want you to try this only because I want to know if you're getting more toffee butter or if you're going to get more chocolate almond. Because it's very subjective. You may have had a pepperoni pizza and taste pepperoni. You may have the pepperoni pizza and get sausage. You know, that's the point. So I'm letting you try different qualities of foods, and you tell me what really comes out. Is it the buttery toffee or the chocolate almond?
You know what's wild is I expected to detect more of the chocolate and the almond, but in that A/B trial that I just did, it was definitely more of that buttery toffee. Are you okay there?
Yeah, yep. I ate a chocolate almond and
Yep.
the mocha, that was an acceptable chocolate level. This was chocolate.
Actual chocolate.
This was actual chocolate.
You're weird. Everyone knows you're weird.
I know,
Everyone's
it's me.
posting
It's
in the
me.
comments how
But
weird
it's
you are.
Probably some chocolatey notes is typically what you'll find in our espresso.
Your favorite.
That's right.
I don't like chocolate.
You don't like chocolate, though.
That's true.
Oh, as a matter of fact, when we did the miracle fruit, that was your complaint about Guinness.
It's chocolatey.
Yes, yes.
I hate chocolate.
It's a learning experience. It's good. We're good.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so informative from an opposites point of view. I fully expected that whatever I would try and then taste, I would just taste more of. But between these two, it's definitely more of that buttery, toffee, nutty flavor.
So the notes that you get from the Central American region are going to have a lot of chocolates, nuttiness, but what the roaster will bring out is some of that real buttery toffee, and you'll always get a little bit of that darker, deep chocolate and nuttiness. Okay, are you guys ready for the dark roast?
Yes.
Indeed.
As long as it makes him miserable and tastes like pure chocolate. Just come out here with some Hershey's. Just squeeze Hershey syrup right in his mouth.
I'll drink it. I'll do it.
I know you will. So if we're playing a game, we know that at this point, this is the darkest of the roasts, which means I suspect it has the least amount of caffeine,
Correct.
but probably the boldest flavor profile. Okay, that's 2 for 2, which means we should enjoy inhaling the roast. Wait, get your filthy hands behind you.
No, not yet.
You
No.
still have scented hands.
My hands
Everybody
are-
knows you have floral lavender tendrils.
And egg McMuffin. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's so rich. It
Yep.
is very rich, very earthy.
Let me smell the medium.
Okay.
Yep, there's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
And it matters that you do the A/B testing right next to each other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, next you give us a pour, and then we do that
right.
part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good answer.
I feel like we're on one of the weirdest quiz shows.
We're learning. Hands
Now.
behind our back. Lean in. Oh, it's smooth.
Yeah, when it was in dry form, it was so intense. I don't want to say it was unpleasant, but it was so much. I just had the thought too much. You know, I thought of volcanoes exploding everywhere.
It's very deep and bold and rich, or you're gonna get a lot of more of those compounds that come out of the bean as you roast darker.
Am I off base in saying that this is a more complex scent?
That is exactly the term that we would give, a darker roast. More complexities do come out as long as you don't over roast. Now, it's very easy to over roast, but we have a wonderful roaster who will stop at the perfect moment so you don't over roast. Because 1 second later, it could ruin it.
Bitterness.
It
if
just
you
becomes
overroast.
like
Ash.
just burned. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we do the Slurpee.
That's right. Cheers. Good. Wow, you're getting it down.
Wow, and that does not have the bite that the other ones do. This is dramatically different from, say, espresso that we had in the previous episode, which was, that'll get your attention.
I disagree. This one has the
Yeah?
bitiest of the three we've done. Because remember, they're all three the same bean.
Yeah.
This one, to me, is the one with the hard left.
To me, it's bolder, but it doesn't have the bite. I really like it.
So most people subjectively will say what the coffee is to them, but when you go through the Specialty Coffee Association standardization, you'll learn to objectively be able to detect acidity, balance, uniformity, complexity, and sweetness of the cup, and most important, the cleanness of the cup. The cleanness comes from, first, that we have really great soil. 2, that we use organic supplies, everything's organic. And then another thing is when we pick them, we pick the beans when they're very ripe. And that can make a huge difference on how the taster gets it in the end.
So what notes are you getting here?
To me, I'm seeing one trend, and that is the lighter the roast, the more floral, for lack of a better word. You know, like we talked about, the citrus, the apple crisp, all of that stuff. Then we get into kind of butter toffee land and the medium roast or whatever. At this point, for my tastes, we're now like, I might as well be just grabbing a handful of dirt. It feels heavy and harsh to me. But again, I understand that taste is subjective.
It's angry. I like it. I want to go to battle with this coffee.
And by the way, feel free to tell me I'm totally wrong about all of this, but that's how the dark is landing with me.
Subjectively, and if, as opinionated as I am, you're definitely wrong, because
Okay, all
I'm
right.
going to tell you what I get.
What? You get sweet fruits?
Again, you're going to get a dark chocolate nuttiness, but definitely a dried cherry note.
Yeah.
Remember,
I get it.
breathe into your mouth, that reverse nasal, really get some oxygen in your mouth, really let it come alive within you.
Yes.
Do you know what it is? I don't care for cherries. So I think I'm having a chocolate moment, and maybe that's exactly what I'm negatively responding to.
The cherry really hit me that time.
Yeah.
I really got it.
How wild. Like, you definitely right at the outset were like, yeah, give me more.
So
fine.
no? You want to try one of
Yeah,
these?
I do.
Yes, let's see if it accentuates. Yeah?
I'm good on that one.
Okay. I'm just going to take both of them.
This is great. I feel like we took the contrast and we turned it up so high that we finally found the point where we fully diverge. Okay, where can we learn more about this tasting method? You called it what again?
Well, we call it, with EDG Coffee, we call it a curated tasting experience. So instead of calling it a cupping, an official cupping, people relate to tasting. And you can go to edgcoffee.com and send us an email, and I can come out and serve and
I didn't even
demonstrate.
know you did a whole thing. Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is a normal daily thing for me.
This has been a fantastic experience. Thank you so very much. Do we toast?
Cheers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cheers. Salud.
Toast.
He
There you
falls
go.
into old habits.
I do.
In Nicaragua, we say salud.
Salud.
Salute. Sriracha. Dude, I'm so stoked.
What's going on?
I got $1 million idea.
Oh.
Trial.info.
Okay.
It's going to be a site where we put the trials on trial. Good trials, bad trials, whatever. The trials of tribulations.
Okay.
Tribulatory trials, whatever it is. The content will come later. The important thing
The structure.
is I've never made a website before.
Never?
Not one. No. But I know how. Got a phone call. Somebody says, hey man, for a lot of, I don't want to say how much, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I can have bandwidth on the internet.
What?
And I got myself the latest edition of Microsoft Front Page, 2003.
What?
So here's what I figured.
What year is?
Just come up with some kind of brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Add a little sparkle star gifts in the background.
You're gonna be on the web.
Yes. There's only one thing I'm worried about.
Dancing baby.
Well,
No, what I'm worried about is what if it becomes like really popular? Because the people who are selling me this bandwidth, they said, don't you let your website get too popular.
Yeah.
Maybe don't make the design too good, because otherwise if it gets real popular, we're gonna charge you a lot of money.
Okay, have you written any checks for this? Because you could just go to Squarespace.
I just gave them my bank account.
Okay.
This is how all internet providers talk.
You buy it from someone under a bridge, like a troll? Just to trade them a goat? You don't need to do all that. You just go to squarespace.com. They have no plugins, no updates, no patches ever. You don't need front page. You just go to Squarespace, it's drag and drop, and you can build beautiful, bespoke websites for your trial things.
Trial of tribulation.
Yeah, go to squarespace.com/rogue, use promo code ROGUE at checkout, get a free trial and 10% off. Just try that first and stop hanging out under bridges.
But I could still.
I mean, if you want to hang out with him, that's fine. Just I don't want to deal with your whatever you got.
I am a totally legitimate web host.
Offer and link in the description below.
You know why they call it cowboy coffee, though.
I don't.
So what they would do is they would crack their eggs and make breakfast at the fire, and then they would take their eggshells and they would put it in their coffee to make it sweeter. So what the alkalinity of that came from that eggshell made the coffee sweeter.
No kidding.
So that's considered the first wave.